Hi, welcome back for Chapter 6, Measurement and Geometry. Today we're focusing on Lesson 3, Volume of Prisms and Cylinders. So we're going to be looking at these different figures today and finding the volume of them. The first, okay, there we go. The first is a rectangular pyramid. It is called a rectangular pyramid because the base is in the shape of a rectangle. Y'all see that? So this is the base down here, and it's in the shape of a rectangle. All right, rectangular pyramid. And then you have a triangular pyramid, where it's called a triangular because the base is in the shape of a triangle. Okay, and then lastly, a cone is where the shape is a circle. All right. And then, so that's one of the most important things is knowing what the shape of the base is, right? So rectangular pyramid goes up to a point. Triangular pyramid, the base is a triangle, goes up to a point. And a cone is a circle as the base and goes up to a point. All right. So we are going to be determining the volumes of all three of these figures. And so let's look at the different formulas to do so. So a pyramid, the volume V of a pyramid is 1/3 of the area of the base, B, times the height. Okay, so here we have it. Volume equals 1/3 times the base times the height. Well, what is the base? The area of the base is this rectangle, right, which is going to be length times width. So the base is 3 times 3, which is 9. And then the volume equals 1/3 times the area of the base, which is 9, times the height, which is 4. So 1/3 of 9 would be 3. 3 times 4 is 12. So that's how you get the volume of a rectangular pyramid. Okay, let's look at how you'd find the volume of a cone. So here, the definition says the volume of a cone is 1/3 of the area of the circular base B times the height, right? So it's the same thing. Volume equals 1/3 times the base times the height, or volume equals 1/3, well, the base, right, that's the area of a circle, which is pi r squared times the height, okay? So when we look at this cone, and we want to find the area of the base, right, we're going to go pi r squared, the radius is 2, so 2 squared, 2 times 2 is 4, so we get 4 pi, and then the volume equals 1/3 4 pi times the height, which is 3. So I'm going to go 1/3 times 3 because I know that 1/3 times 3 is 1. 1 times 4 is 4 pi. And so that would be the volume. And then if I wanted to go 3.14 times 4, I would end up with 12.6 units cubed. Perfect. Okay, let's go ahead and look at a few examples and practice finding the volume for pyramids and cones. Okay, so for this first one, right, we are going to find the volume of this triangular pyramid. So that's going to be volume equals 1/3 times the base times the height, right? The area of the base. So volume equals 1/3 times the area of the base is 1/2 base times height. That's the area, that's the formula for the area of a triangle times the height, okay? So I'm just going to rewrite this again. I'm going to substitute numbers in. So the base of this triangle, so I'm just trying to find the area of this base right here first. Right, this base of the triangle. So 1/2 base of this triangle would be 4 times the height of the triangle is 7 multiplied by the height of the entire thing, which is 6. All right, so 1/2 times 4, that's 2. I'm going to do this part inside the parentheses first. 1/2 times 4 is 2. 2 times 7 is 14. So volume equals 1/3 times 14 times 6. Now, I could go 1/3 times 14, or I could go 1/3 times 6. I'm going to do that because I know if I looked across cancel, 3 and 6 have a common factor of 3. 3 goes into 3 one time. 3 goes into 6 two times. So basically now I'm just going 2 times 14, which is 28 centimeters cubed for the volume. All right. Okay, let's look at this next example, which is the volume of a cone. So again, the volume of the cone is going to be very similar. It's the volume equals 1/3 base of the area of the base times the height. The area of the base, that's a 3, equals pi r squared. Then I'm just going to substitute the numbers in. The radius of the base is 3. The height of the entire cone is 10. Okay, so I end up with 3 times 3, 3 squared is the same thing as 3 times 3, which is 9. So 9 pi times 10. 1/3 times 9 would be, they have a common factor of 3. 3 goes into 3 one time, 3 goes into 9 3 times. So I basically have 3 times 10, which is 30 pi. And I'm going to, we know that pi is 3.14, right? So I'm going to take that up here, and I'm going to go 3.14 times 30. Put the 0 here. 3 times 4 is 2. Write the 2, carry the 1. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 1 is 4. 3 times 3 is 9. There's 2 decimal places. So the volume is equal to 94.2 inches. Oh, that's not inches. That's inches cubed. All right, that is it for that one. Okay, let's go on to C. Okay, so we're going to find the volume of this rectangular pyramid. So we know the volume equals base 1/3 base times height. The area of a base is a rectangle, so it's going to be length times width, right? Length times width times height, and then we're just going to fill in those numbers. Length, okay, so the length is 14. The width is 6, and the height is 10. Okay, so I could do the parentheses and figure out what that is. I'm going to have a big number, then I'm going to have to do the 1/3, or I can keep the numbers as it is and do 1/3 times 6. And since even though it's in the parentheses, all of these things are multiplied by each other, so it doesn't matter which ones I multiply first. And I think that if I go 1/3 times 6, it's going to keep the numbers smaller, and easier to work with. So watch. 1/3 of 6, they both have a common factor of 3. 3 goes into 3 one time, 3 goes into 6 two times. All right, so now that's just 1. And now we got 14 times 2, which is going to be 28. And then just 28 times 10, you got 280 meters cubed would be the volume of this wonderful, magnificent rectangular pyramid. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is now your turn to try D, E, and F. So here's my friend the pause dragon. Remind you to pause your device. Go ahead and work out those problems. When you get done, press play and we'll talk about it. All right, see you in a bit. Okay, let's go ahead and see how you did. So the volume equals base, 1/3 base times height, right? The area of a base is a rectangle, so that means that this base is going to be length times width. And then we just plug in the figures. 1/3, the length is 9, the width is 9, the height is 7. So, like in the previous example, I could go 9 times 9 and get 81 and then take 1/3 of it, or I can go 1/3 times 9, which I think is easier to just cancel some things out and work with smaller numbers Oh, the height. The height is 7. Why didn't I write 7? Okay. All right. So if I make this 9/1, 3 is a common factor. 3 goes into 3 1 times. 3 goes into 9 3 times. And then we're basically going 3 times 9, which is 27 times 7. So I'll just go over here and figure out what 27 times 7 is. 7 times 7 is 49. Write the 9, carry the 4. 7 times 2 is 14, plus 4 is 18. So equals 189 centimeters cubed would be the answer. All right, if you got that one right, great job. Let's go ahead and see how you did on E and F. Okay, so here we have another wonderful rectangular pyramid. So I'm going to go volume equals base times 1/3. Why do I always forget the 1/3? 1/3 base times height, right? The base, the area of the base is a rectangle, so it's going to be length times width. Times height. Okay, let's plug in the numbers. We get the length is 8 times the width is 6 and the height is 5. Okay. I'm going to go 1/3 times 6 because even though I could go 8 times 6 and 48 and do all that, it's going to be easier to work with smaller numbers. So 1/3, I'm going to make this a 6/1. I'm going to look to cross cancel. They have a common factor of 3. 3 goes into 3 1 time. 3 goes into 6 2 times. So now this is 1. And really, I could go 8 times 2 times 5. So I could go 8 times 2 and then multiply it by 5. But you know what? It's way easier to go 2 times 5, which is 10, and then multiply it by 8. And the answer is 80. So it doesn't matter which one, just as long as you multiply them all. So yeah, 2 times 5 is 10, 10 times 8 is 80. 80 inches cubed. If I went 8 times 2 and got 16, and then 16 times 5, I had to go over here to the side. So sometimes if you just think about the order and they make a really easy number like 10, it's easier to work with 10 than it is 16. So if you got that one right, great job. Let's go ahead and move on to this beautiful cone. It's a beautiful cone. All right, so the volume equals 1/3 base times height. 1/3. The area of the base is a circle, so it's going to be pi r squared times the height. Okay, now we substitute in the, what all of these things mean. The radius is 3, so 3 squared, and the height is 10. Ooh, what a lovely number. Okay, so I'm going to do this exponent. 3 times 3 is 9. 1/3 pi times 9 times 10. All right, I'm going to go 1/3 times 9, make this 9/1. Look to cross cancel. There's a common factor of 3. 3 goes into 3 1 time. 3 goes into 9 3 times. That is now 1. And now I just have 3 times 10, which is 30 pi. And now I just need to figure out what 3.14 times 30 is. Okay, that 0 is just going to be 0. 3 times 4 is 12. Write the 2, carry the 1. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 1 is 4. 3 times 3 is 9. 2 decimal places there, so you have 2 decimal places here. So that means the volume is equal to 94.2 inches cubed. And if you got that right, you did a wonderful job, and I'll see you in a little bit for the next example.